What's my host? My lovely lady lump. Check it out. Oh, hey guys, welcome to the fucking booty base. Now, look, a lot of the time people tell me that they want to get a big ass, big old glutes, but a lot of people don't just want big glutes. They want a plump rump. They want to perk the peach, and they want to know exactly how to build an amazing shelf and build their upper glutes. Well, in today's video, I am going to be revealing what is very likely my #1 exercise for building, shaping, sculpting, and plumping the upper glutes. And we're going to be going through exactly how to execute the movement so you make sure you are doing it perfectly, and then showing you through 8 different variations which you can do with different loading patterns to make things harder no matter what you have and no matter where you are. So, let's get into the video. Wow, would you look at that? It's a badass babe straight from the wild, our very own Alana Longbottom. Now, I'm gonna be going through and explaining exactly how to set things up with our side lying abductions, okay? Now, this exercise is, again, probably one of my favorite glute exercises of all time. However, it is very commonly misperformed. I see it on Instagram and YouTube all the time, and I even see it down here at the booty base, and it's one of the exercises in which I have to correct form with on so often because it's so easy to get wrong, but when you get it right, it feels damn right. So, first things first, what we're doing with a side lying abduction is we're doing a hip abduction in the frontal plane. So, what I want to see is our body completely flat and straight, and we want to be having everything in one nice straight line all the way down, so this is going to be here. What a lot of people do incorrectly is they actually have their legs set up in this direction, and as they lift up, it's not as effective of a contraction on the glute, and we bring other hip muscles into play. So, by extending our leg back in this direction, now we're going to be working a little bit more of the glute medius, which is the upper glute area in which we're focusing on. Now, the second thing that people get wrong more frequently is they let their toe turn up and out like this. If your toe is in external rotation, ordinarily that's a good thing to actually fire the glutes. However, not with our abduction variations, because if you turn your toe out and you lift your leg up, now you can see that Alana's hip flexor and her TFL are actually responsible for the movement. But if she internally rotates, turns her toe down, and actually makes sure that this leg is straight, the line of pull is going directly into her glute medius and the upper subdivision of her glute max, and it's actually going to build her a motherfucking big old shelf. Come on, get a couple more reps. Now you'll also notice that means that typically her range of motion is going to be a little bit more limited. If she was to open up and come all the way up, she could really get that height, but that's not what we want. We want to stay in, we want to keep the toe down and drive all the way up. So keep that as a little bit of a checklist to make sure, again, body, leg, hip, foot, nice and in alignment, and toe, turn down, just like so. All right. Now that we've mastered the bodyweight movement on the floor, we're gonna take it up a level and we're gonna be doing our extended range side lying abductions, which in my personal opinion is one of the best exercises ever, because in the ground variation, we get to make sure that we're getting a really big peak contraction and getting a lot of tension at the glutes when they're in this squeeze position. However, when we do abduction movements, it's pretty rare for us to actually get that muscle to come down onto an additional stretch. With our extended range side lying abduction, we get both. We get to accentuate that stretch by adding that additional range of motion and getting that deep stretch onto the glutes, while also lifting all the way up, getting that epic contraction. And Alana, that was a bad rep. See how her hip came up like that?
Sorry.
I'm very fucking picky. Boom. Turn in too much. Stay there. That looks better. Down, tap, up. There we go. See how her hip didn't shift? That's a better looking rep. Now, again, we have a whole plethora of different ways in which we can do this. You can set this up on 2 boxes or 2 benches like we have here, and this is an ideal setup because we have our foot here and it's just a little bit more comfortable. Keep repping now for me, Alana. It's a little more comfortable just to have your foot elevated on something else. So if you have a bench or a box or whatever else it might be, we may or may not have some Glute Guru booty boxes coming your way very soon. Holy goddamn. But if not, you can just do exactly the same thing and do it. Yep, keep going and just try to balance your legs somewhere else. If you just have a regular bench or a couch or whatever the fuck you have access to, there's no excuses with this exercise. However, my biggest fucking pet peeve is when people do this. They come onto the bench and they stop here and they go up, and then they go, I'm just gonna stop here. If you're doing a fucking extended range side lying abduction, get the extra range and go all the way down. Or they use a bench and they do it like this, and they're like, I'm just gonna go and fucking use up a bench in the middle of the gym, and then just for no fucking reason, I could be laying on the ground. So don't be one of those people. That's fucking dumb, and that's not how you wanna train your body. All right. Now that I got that little rant out of the way, and now that you know exactly how to perfect this movement, let's have a look at 7 different variations in which you can do to make sure that you can progressively make this exercise harder and harder and harder. Now, first things first, let's quickly talk about sets and reps. Typically speaking, for this exercise, 2 to 3 sets of anywhere between about probably 12 to 30 reps is gonna be the sweet spot. And we're not really trying to be like adding a lot of weight or whatever else it might be to this, but we wanna be going for that mind-muscle connection, going for that burn, and going for that really good feel and that pump in the upper glutes. However, if we always stick to the one variation and we never actually progressively overload or make things harder, then our body won't have a reason to actually grow and build more muscle to keep up with the demand that is being placed on it. So let's get into these 7 variations and show exactly how you can start and where you can take things to make things progressively harder, or just add some variety into your training. We're going to be demonstrating all of these videos with our very own Rachel Bohlke, and we're going to be doing the extended range abduction variation with these. But just remember, you can also do these just on the ground for most of the variations as well. And we're kicking things off with just our regular standard extended range side lying abductions. Again, these are fantastic because we get that extra range of motion, so make sure you start with your foot on the ground, lift all the way up, keep that leg in alignment, and get that squeeze. Now, once you can comfortably do about 3 sets of 20 with this, maybe it's time to bump it up a little bit. Well, how can we do that? We don't even need anything. We can come into our 1 1/4 extended range side lying abductions and add more tension when the glutes are on their peak contraction at the top. I absolutely love incorporating this 1 1/4 method. It is a fantastic way to get that extra burn. Now, if you want to, if you have a band available, then you can add a light band just above the knees and do our banded extended range side lying abductions. Now we're getting extra tension on the stretch and additional tension at the band at the top of the movement. And if you really wanted to make this hard, you could do a banded 1 1/4 extended range side lying abduction. Now that's quite a mouthful. Now, moving on, we also have our weighted side lying abductions. And again, this one is a really, really great one if you have access to ankle weights, because we're getting a consistent load of tension, not just on the squeeze, but also on the stretch. Bohlke has 2 kilos here strapped to our ankles. And if you can get 3 sets of 20 to 30 reps with that, then that means you're doing a pretty goddamn good job. Now, from here, we're gonna be needing to be getting a trainer, a partner, a friend, a booty buddy, or someone, and we're doing our manual resisted side lying abductions. These are one of the Booty Base Baby's favorite exercises. Now, what I recommend is getting a partner to hold your hip in place so it doesn't come forward. You're gonna allow them to lift all the way up and then drive down, and we're getting a lot of tension on the eccentric portion of the rep, because that's where we are really, really strong and we can build a lot of strength. Now, if you want to take it up 1 level further, well, we're going to be doing a triple pulse manual resisted abduction, and that's where your partner's going to allow you to lift your leg up, do 3 pulses at the top, and then drive down. Trust me when I say if you can get more than 10 reps of that, then that is really, really tough. But make sure you speak to your partner and let them know how much resistance you can handle versus how much you're actually applying. Now, lastly, if you want to look really fucking badass, well, you can do some chain extended range side lying abductions. Now, these look incredibly badass, and they actually have a bit of a changed strength curve. As we get lower down into the rep at the start, it's going to be a little bit less weight, and as we progressively lift our leg higher and higher and higher, we're lifting more of the chain off the ground, and we feel more weight as we reach that peak tension and that peak contraction for the glutes. They look fucking badass. So there you have it, guys. My favorite abduction exercise with 7 different variations that you can try. But just remember, if you want to be building a big juicy booty and a big plump rump, it's going to mean more than just abduction exercises. These exercises with lightweight and high reps are fantastic for shaping, building, and sculpting the glutes and getting that really good mind-muscle connection. However, if you want to be really growing serious muscle, then you also should be incorporating bigger compound movements in lower rep ranges and training through a variety of big movement patterns and focusing on strength and progressive overload with those as well. Also, this is my favorite abduction exercise, but it might not be your favorite abduction exercise. So leave me a comment and let us all know down below what your favorite abduction or what your favorite upper glute exercise is, so we can all comment and join the conversation. But before you head off, don't you forget, we're gonna be posting a lot more content on this YouTube channel in 2021. It's the year of the YouTube takeover. So before you leave, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go like, comment, subscribe, turn on the notification motherfucking bell, and ladies and gentlemen, you know what they say. YouTube! Club it up, YouTube!